Okay, let's hit the Daily Cringe. As I said,
Yes.
recidivist, repeat offender on the Daily Cringe.
Hall of
It is,
Famer.
you know what? Yes. She's a gold star cringe, okay? Elizabeth May goes on a rant for over 9 minutes. I'm not listening to 9 minutes of this
No.
lunatic. We might listen to 2, maybe 3. Calling Donald Trump a bully. You know what? I feel like Elizabeth May wasn't quite bullied enough in her youth. Telling Carney how to win the tariff war. What tariff war? We just keep getting tariffs. And Carney keeps putting his elbows down. She wants the digital tax reimposed and collected. Again, Green Socialist doesn't understand that that tax is not going to be paid by Netflix. It's going to be paid by you, the Netflix watcher. But on the flip side, maybe some of you would get off Netflix and go outside. So I don't know. I'm of two minds there. I'm against taxes, though. So let's listen to Elizabeth May, Green Party leader. Again, she's the leader again. And she's like a poltergeist. She's just haunting the House of Commons. They keep making her not the leader, and then she keeps taking the party back over. Not a serious bunch, but anyways, let's just watch.
In fairness, Sheila, co-leader, along with the person who no one can remember his name.
I didn't even know there was a co-leader until we were watching press conferences of her and him during the campaign, and I was like, who's that guy? Oh, co-leader? And I'm like, I watch politics for a living, and I had no idea who that guy was. None. Anyways, let's watch Elizabeth May. Remember, pray for the people of her riding, because they obviously, I'm in favor of medicating the water wherever she lives because they have a mental illness problem. Let's watch.
I have here, of course, communication from President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, who uses social media as his weapon of choice with late-night rants. This one is extremely unusual, being allegedly a letter to our Prime Minister. We know that Prime Minister Mark Carney has made every effort to engage in good faith with Donald Trump. I think Mr. Trump doesn't know the meanings of good faith, nor does he understand the concept that once you've signed a treaty with a country, it means something. He certainly likes signing things. The letter is almost a parody of abuse of power. It is a great honor, he starts. Capital G, capital H, a great honor for me to send you this letter, which is full of threats and lies. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Trump. As the leader of the Green Party of Canada, as a member of Parliament, and as a Canadian who is outraged by the continual abuse and aggression we're receiving from what remains a great neighbor. I mean, there they are. I sometimes feel like Sarah Palin when I wake up over there and say, I can see the United States out my window. I see Mount Baker in Washington State due east. And I think all of us as Canadians understand that our disputes are not with the people of the United States of America, but with the current administration. And the decisions of that administration are a threat not just to the North American economy, but indeed to the global sense of international law, to an understood order of the world, to a world trading system, to decades of work in establishing something like geopolitical security. That's been thrown out the window. So why I asked you here this morning is what I would love to see our Prime Minister do in response. I think there's no question in my mind, I think everybody who was here for the election, all Canadians know, that the ballot question moved to who can best deal with Trump. And we rallied around the call of elbows up. I added to that arms outstretched, because I do want our neighbors to the south to know that our dispute is not with them as individuals. But we have to do what's required now to protect our economy. And we have to make sure the U.S. knows that we're not going to cower in a corner and hope that someday they'll be nice to us if we give them all our lunch money. We're dealing with a bully, or one might say we're dealing with a pirate. Since there's never been in the history of the United States, there's no point in me saying I've never seen, there's never been in the history of the United States of America a president who so abused power as to aggrandize his personal wealth without
Oh.
concern for whether that would be seen as offensive to the sensibilities of people who understand what it is to be an elected official in a democratic nation. So what can we do? There are things we can do. So I've suggested this today to Prime Minister Carney. First step, the digital sales tax was passed by Parliament. We so far have essentially press releases and mentions that we're going to remove it, not collect it. We're collecting it. I would urge that the Prime Minister make it clear that the digital sales tax be collected. It's not merely an opportunistic move because these corporations are based in the United States. They have been enriching themselves while robbing us. They have hit different sectors of our economy in ways that have been damaging to the fabric of life in Canada, including through undermining our housing and access to affordable housing through things like Airbnbs. They've undermined the institutions of democracy, particularly in journalism, through things like the ability to have classified ads under Kijiji and Craigslist that have replaced the #1 source of revenue to most of the newspapers in Canada. We accepted
What year
a
is
lot
this?
of what was digital as benign. And it's very clear, and we're not the only country around the world that sees this, that we need to get a hold of this. So I think reversing the earlier decision to appease Trump by removing the digital services tax, Parliament hasn't repealed the law. The law is there. We collect the digital services tax. It augments, as the Parliamentary Budget Officer has found, it gets us billions of dollars a year. But it also maintains coherence and allyship with the other nation states within the OECD that are doing the same thing. We mustn't cave, elbows up, digital sales tax. We also can show the United States.
I've had
That's
so
it.
much. Is
That-
she a is she a lobbyist for the bargain finder or the auto trader? Like, what is she talking about?
I remember the Bargain Hunter.
The bargain finder. I loved it. It would come out on Thursday and I would immediately pick it up, like 5 o'clock in the morning, pick it up and just look at the free stuff.
Well, I'm so jealous of you, Sheila Gunn-Reid. You live in a market where I believe Tradio is on the radio. So if only for me. Well, you know what? Let's look at the
Trading Post
positives.
also. Yeah.
You know, the positive, Sheila, is Elizabeth May did not appear to be drunk. I remember
That
10
is
years
new.
ago.
This is new. You
Yeah.
know, her co-leader, as she was talking, just to keep myself engaged and in reality, because when she talks, it feels like my head is too heavy for my neck sometimes. I just was like, her co-leader resigned April 30th, and his Jonathan Pedno.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he resigned April 30th, leaving May the sole dictator in charge of the Green Party of Canada. Saanich Gulf Islands, medicate the water there. They're not making good choices. I'm not in favor of medicating the water most of the time, but look, it's for their own good.
Wow. Well, at least he got to see the light. But you're looking at the photograph of maybe the biggest footnote in Canadian political history. But, you know, Sheila, I go back to this, 10 years ago, that's when Elizabeth May got drunk and started singing Welcome Back, Cotter. But who she was serenading was our homegrown Al-Qaeda terrorist, Omar Cotter, and saying he had... I forget the word, but there was more credence in a terrorist who killed somebody and injured another than the entire Conservative Party of Canada. And secondly, did she not lose her street cred in the Green movement? I think it was Victoria Day 2019. She shows up at that parade in Victoria behind the wheel of a 640 horsepower Dodge Viper. Yeah, no hybrid here, no EV for Elizabeth May. Pure muscle car mania. Give me a break.
She should have lost her street cred with the Green Party when she has like one of the longest commutes to the House of Commons every single week. Like from one side of the country, the furthest point, to the other side. And
there she is.
There she is. Squawking them.
How can you be so unaware? And by the way, look at the turnout there. I'm counting maybe 5 people on the side.
They're riveted. They are absolutely riveted by Liz May. Did you know that she has the Order of Canada? She got it in 2005.
For what?
I don't know.
No, but I mean, really,
co-founder of the Sierra Club, I guess.
well, that says something about the Order of Canada. I was opening up a box of Count Chocula the other day. Oops, look at that. An Order of Canada fell out. I mean, just unbelievable. Well, there you go. There's if you can stomach the rest of that rant, folks, more power to you.
I still can't believe she's like, we need to get rid of Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji because we need to keep newspapers alive by having classified sections.
So wait a minute, Sheila. Then what about, in for a penny, in for a pound? Then we need to get rid of the automobile altogether. We go back to riding horses and donkeys, right? Which, by the way, pre-automobile, what the average city looked like with the amount of manure in it.
Horrendous.
Yeah. So please spare me the lectures of what's coming out of the tailpipe
like
of an SUV.
Candlestick maker in the dawn of the electricity era. What is wrong with, and it's not even the dawn of the electricity era. She's like a candlestick maker 30 years after electricity was put into everybody else's house. And she just wants to roll it back. Elbows up.